Hi students, welcome to Diamond Group of Institution KSET and NEET online classes. So here today is our topic is remaining NEET 2018 questions. So yesterday we already covered some of the NEET 2018 questions. So for that continuation part is here question number 29. Question number 29 in NEET 2018 paper. So which oxide of nitrogen is not a common pollutant introduced into atmosphere both due to natural and human activity? So option A N2O5, option B NO2, option C N2O, option D NO. So here this question is repeated in 2016 and 2018. Okay, two times is repeated this question. So right here the question is what? Which oxide of nitrogen? So the question is about environmental chemistry. Here, which oxide of nitrogen is not a common pollutant? So it is not a common pollutant introduced into the atmosphere both due to the natural and human activity. We already know the pollutants they are introduced into the atmosphere due to the natural activity, natural or due to the human activity also. But here, one of the nitrogen oxide, it cannot introduce it into the atmosphere due to the natural and human activity. So that nitrogen oxide is what? Okay, so see here, nitrogen monoxide and nitrous oxide and nitrogen dioxide NO2. These three gases, nitrogen monoxide, nitrous oxide and nitrogen dioxide, these three gases, they are introduced into the environment due to the combined reaction between the nitrogen and oxygen. Okay, so nitrogen and oxygen, the combined reaction between the nitrogen and oxygen. These nitrogen and oxygen, these two gases which are present in our atmosphere, right? So nitrogen is a nitrogen and oxygen both are present in our atmosphere. Therefore, when the fossils are burnt, or automobile engines also. So from that automobile engines also nitrogen gas is evolved, and that nitrogen gas and oxygen gas when they are combined with each other, they form nitrogen monoxide. NO formation takes place, and the nitrous oxide, nitrogen dioxide. So that means these nitrogen monoxide, nitrous oxide, nitrogen dioxide, they are released into the atmosphere. They are introduced into the atmosphere due to the natural and human activity. But N2O5 it cannot introduce it into the atmosphere due to the natural and human activity. This is the answer. Okay. Next question number 30. Which one of the condition will favor maximum formation of the product in the reaction? So the reaction is A2 gas react with B2 gas. So forward backward reaction, it produce X2 gas. So here delta H equal to minus X. So here the amount of energy is released, that energy is minus X in kilojoules. Okay. So this is the question. To produce the X, okay, to produce the maximum amount of X, what are the conditions are required, or what are the conditions are favored to produce the X2, okay, maximum amount of X2, that is the question. Option A, low temperature and high pressure, low temperature and low pressure, high temperature and high pressure, high temperature and low pressure. Okay, so these are the options. So this question is came from Le Chatelier principle. Okay, Le Chatelier principle. So here the reaction is A2 gas plus B2 gas. These are the reactant. A2 gas plus B2 gas. These are the reactants. These reactants produce the product is X2. Okay. So first I'm going to explain about the temperature. Temperature. So temperature, if for this reaction, if temperature is more, high temperature favors to endothermic reaction according to Le Chatelier principle. And low temperature it favors to exothermic reaction. Okay, exothermic reaction according to what? Le Chatelier principle. According to Le Chatelier principle, temperature is more, then the reaction is shifted towards endothermic reaction. If the temperature is low, then the reaction is shifted towards the exothermic reaction. Now this reaction is endothermic reaction or exothermic reaction? Tell me. So it is what kind of reaction, student? Exothermic reaction. So because of here delta H value, it is in minus, negative value. So for this reaction, if the delta H value is in negative, then that is exothermic reaction. Okay, this is the forward reaction is exothermic reaction. That means to produce the X2, to produce the X2 means this is the forward reaction. So in forward reaction is what kind of reaction? Exothermic reaction. Because of here delta H value is negative. So therefore, if the temperature, if it is the exothermic reaction favors in the condition of low temperature only. Therefore, to produce the maximum amount of X2, here low temperature is required. So option A low temperature, option B low temperature, option C and D high temperature. Therefore, C and D wrong options. Because of low temperature is required to produce the maximum amount of X2. Because of this is a exothermic reaction. Next. So I am going to explain about the pressure. Okay, pressure. See here, reactant value here 1 plus 1. So here reactant value is 2. 1 plus 1 is nothing but a reactant value. Number of moles of reactant is 2. And these two reactants, number of moles of these two reactants, they produce 1 mole of product. 1 mole of product means for forward reaction, number of volumes are decreases. Okay, because of here number of volumes of the reactant is 2 and number of volume of the product is 1. So in forward reaction number of volumes are decreases. So if the pressure is more, then the reaction shift to decrease in volume side. If the pressure is more, then the reaction is shift towards decrease in volume side. Or if the pressure is less, the reaction is shift towards increase in volume side. Okay, increase in volume side. So this concept is according to Le Chatelier principle. Okay, right? So here in forward reaction, because of the question is what? Which condition is favored to produce the maximum product of X? So here this is the forward reaction. In this forward reaction, volumes are decreases because of 2 to 1, volume is decreases. So volume is decreases when the pressure is increases. Okay, for the particular reaction, if the pressure is increases according to Le Chatelier principle, volumes are decreases. Therefore, high pressure is required in this reaction. So high pressure and low temperature, those are the favorable conditions for the formation of maximum amount of X2 according to Le Chatelier principle. Therefore, low temperature and high pressure. Low temperature favors exothermic reaction and high pressure favors the decrease in volume side. Okay, so answer A. Question number 31. The correction factor A to the ideal gas equation corresponds to what? That A corresponds to what for ideal gas equation? Option A, density of the gas molecules. Option B, volume of the gas molecules. Option C, electric field present between the gas molecules. Option D, force of attraction between the gas molecules. So among these four options, which option is represents the A, okay, correction factor A in ideal gas equation. Okay, van der Waal ideal gas equation. Okay, right. So see student, this is the van der Waal ideal gas equation here. That is what P plus AN square by V square into V minus NB equal to nRT. Okay, nRT. So here P is the pressure. P is the pressure, V is volume here. So here A is what? So A is, so correction factor A that represent force of attraction between the gas molecules. Okay, here A is what? Force of attraction, force of attraction between the gas molecule. So here A is directly proportional to, here A is that van der Waal force of attraction is directly proportional to force of attraction. Because of here A represent what, student? A, it is a correction factor to the force of attraction between the gas molecules. And here V is the value, and B is what here? B is, it is a correction factor for molecule size. Okay, molecule size. But the question is about what? The correction factor A to the ideal gas equation corresponds to. So here A, it refers to what? It refers to force of attraction between the gas molecule. Option D is the answer. Next, question number 32. When initial concentration of the reactant, when initial concentration of the reactant is doubled, the half-life period of zero order reaction, it would be what? So that half-life period of zero order reaction is off or doubled, is tripled, remains unchanged. Okay, so this is the question. Right, the question is what here? Initial concentration of the reactant in zero order reaction. So if in zero order reaction, if the reactant initial concentration is doubled, then half-life period is would be what? It is halved or doubled or tripled or remains unchanged. See student, so this is the hint here, and here this relation this equation is about half lifetime for zero order reaction, half lifetime for zero order reaction, it is equal to concentration of A, initial concentration by 2K. Okay, this is the equation. So here the question is what? When initial concentration of the reactant. So this is the initial concentration of the reactant. Initial concentration of the reaction is doubled. If the initial concentration of the reaction is doubled, then what is the half-life period of zero order reaction? Once you observe, half-life period for zero order reaction and initial concentration both are directly proportional to relationship. That means if the initial concentration of the reactant is doubled, then half-life period for zero order reaction also double, because of both are in directly proportional relationship. Therefore, answer B. Next, question number 33. For the redox reaction, MnO4 minus plus C2O4 minus 2 plus H plus produce, it gives Mn plus 2 CO2 H2O. Okay, this is the redox reaction, and this is unbalanced redox reaction. The correct coefficients of the reactants for the balanced equation. So for the balanced equation, after the balanced equation, what is the correct coefficients of the reactants are? So here MnO4 minus number of numbers, coefficient numbers after the balancing of redox reaction, and oxalate C2O4 minus 2 reactant coefficients after the balancing of redox reaction, and number of H plus ions after the balancing of redox reactions. So here 16, 5, 2, 2, 5, 16, 2, 16, 5, 5, 16, 2. So here which option is correct? Okay students, so this is one kind of different question to balance the redox reaction. So we have some of the techniques. So some of the techniques to balance the unbalanced redox reaction. So first, here I am taking the as it is reaction first. So as it is reaction is what? MnO4 minus plus C2O4 minus 2 in the presence of acidic media, it forms Mn plus 2 and carbon dioxide and water. So first we have to find out the oxidation number of the respected elements here. So first manganese, because of here manganese is converted to Mn plus 2. So therefore first we have to find out the oxidation number of manganese to the reactant side. So here 4 oxygens, one oxygen common oxidation number is minus 2, therefore 4 into minus 2, 8, minus 8, and here minus 1. So therefore 8 minus 1, that is 7. So therefore manganese oxidation number is plus 7. So MnO4 minus, in this MnO4 minus manganese oxidation number is plus 7. That MnO4 minus is converts to Mn plus 2. So plus 7 is converts to plus 2. So plus 7 is converts to plus 2 means the difference is how much here? 5. Okay, so 7 to 2 means 5 electrons. So here it gains 5 electrons. This is equation 1. Okay, this is equation 1. Next, we have to find out the carbon oxidation number in oxalate and the carbon oxidation number in carbon dioxide. Next, so that is second method. See here, again 4 oxygens, 4 oxygen, 1 oxygen common oxidation number is minus 2, 4 into minus 2, 8. So here 8 minus 2, 6. So 6, but here 2 carbons, therefore 6 by 2. So means here plus 3. 1 carbon oxidation number is plus 3. So in C2O4 minus 2, in C2O4 minus 2, 1 carbon oxidation number is plus 3. Next, in CO2, in carbon dioxide, we have to find out the carbon oxidation number. So here, how many oxygen? 2 oxygen. 1 oxygen oxidation number is minus 2. Therefore, 2 into minus 2 minus 4. After equality, it becomes to plus 4. Therefore, here carbon oxidation number plus 4. So carbon oxidation number plus 4. So here 2 carbons and here 1 carbon. So plus 3 to plus 4. Actual difference is 1 electron. But here 2 carbons, right? So 2 carbon. So therefore 1 carbon plus 3 to plus 4. Another carbon also plus 3 to plus 4. Therefore difference is 2 electrons. So here 2 electrons is lost. That is equation 2. So here listen carefully. First we have to find out the oxidation number for manganese. And also we have to find out the oxidation number for carbon. And here in the first one 5 electrons gains, in second one 2 electrons loss. Therefore oxidation and reduction, that's why it is a redox reaction. Next, after the completion of finding out of oxidation number, so here this is equation 1, this is equation 2. So here in equation 1 5 electron gains, in equation 2 2 electron gains loss. Therefore here multiplication. Equation 1 is multiplied with 2 and equation 2 is multiplied with 5 electrons to balance the electron, because of here unbalanced electrons, right? So here 5 electron gain, here 2 electron loss. So electrons are unbalanced. Therefore to balance the electrons, first equation 1 is multiplied with 2 and equation 2 is multiplied with 5. So therefore here equation 1 is multiplying equation 1 by 2. So therefore 1 by 2, therefore here 2 MnO4 minus, and here this is multiplied with 5, therefore 5 C2O4 minus 2, product side 2 Mn plus 2, and here CO2, right? So here CO2, here 10 CO2, because of this is multiplied with 5. So therefore 10 CO2, 10 carbon dioxide, right? So comes to after the balancing of electrons, after the balancing of electrons, so comes to unbalancing, here unbalancing charge. Now we are going to balancing the charge. So here 2 MnO4 minus, 5 C2O4 minus 2. So once you observed, here number of oxygen 2 into 4, 8 oxygens, 8 oxygens. Next 5 into 4, 20 oxygens, 20 oxygen. Therefore, to the reactant side, total number of oxygens are 28 oxygen. Okay, 28 oxygen. But to the product side, number of oxygens are 10 into 2, 20 only. Okay, 10 into 2, 20 only. So therefore 10 into 2, 20. So that side number of oxygen 20 and this side 28 oxygen. Difference of oxygen is 8. So here this side 8 oxygens are less. To balance the oxygen atom in the presence of acidic media, we have to add water molecules. So here how many oxygens are deficient? 8 oxygens are deficient. To balance that oxygen, we have to add 8 water molecule. Okay, 8 H2O. So now this side 28 oxygen and this side also 28 oxygen. So oxygens also balanced. Electrons also balanced. But here hydrogens. So product side 8 into 2, 16 hydrogens are present. 16 hydrogens. But in reactant side there is no hydrogens. Therefore, to balance the hydrogen, we have to add H plus ions in acidic media to less number of hydrogen side. So this side 16 hydrogens are there. Therefore, we have to add 16 H plus. So this is the final equation. So in this MnO4 number of MnO4 minus is 2. After the balancing of redox reaction, the coefficient number of MnO4 minus is 2. Next, C2O4 minus number is 5. C2O4 minus number is 5. Next, H plus number is 16. So therefore, B is the answer. Question number 34. The bond dissociation energies of X2, Y2 and XY. So here the bond dissociation energies of X2, Y2 and XY are in the ratio of 1 is to 0.5 is to 1. Delta H for the formation of XY, delta H for the formation of XY is minus 200 kilojoule mole inverse. The bond dissociation energy of X2 will be what? The bond dissociation energy of X2 will be what? Okay, so option A 200 kilojoule mole inverse, option B 100 kilojoule mole inverse, option C 800 kilojoule mole inverse, option D 400 kilojoule mole inverse. Okay, so first the given data here, I'm explaining the given data here. Let bond dissociation energy or bond energy of X2, Y2 and XY is what? X2 1, Y2 0.5 and XY 1 kilojoule mole inverse respectively. So to form the XY, XY is the product. So what reactants are required to form the XY? X2, Y2 reactant is required. So therefore, of X2 plus of Y2, it produces one XY. Okay, right? Of X2 plus of Y2, it produces one XY. Here, so delta H value for the formation of XY is minus 200. Therefore, delta H value is minus 200 kilojoule mole inverse. So this data is already given in the question. Right. So here, what is the delta H value here? Minus 200 kilojoule mole inverse. So what is the delta H formation equation? Delta H formation equal to summation of bond dissociation energy for reactant minus summation of bond dissociation energy of product. Okay. So therefore, here delta H formation, delta H for the reaction. So delta H for the reaction is minus 200. So therefore, minus 200 equal to, so summation of bond energy reactant. So here reactants are what? Y2, of Y2 and of X2 are reactant. So of X2, so of delta H X2 XX plus of Y2. So therefore of delta H YY minus, this is a summation of bond energy reactant minus summation of bond energy product. So here product is what? XY. Therefore delta H XY. Okay. So right. Of delta H X2 bond dissociation energy is how much? 1, right? So X2 bond dissociation energy is 1. So therefore of into 1. Just like here A. I'm taken A. So of into A plus y of delta H Y2. Y2 value is how much? 0.5. Okay, 0.5. Therefore, half into 0.5a minus delta H xy. So delta H xy bond dissociation energy here also 1. So therefore 1 here I am taken as a. Okay, a. So therefore minus 200 equal to half into a plus half into 0.5a. Half into 0.5a plus half, that is nothing but 0.25a minus 0.25a. Okay, here minus a. So minus 200 equal to minus 0.25a. Therefore, a equal to what? Minus 200 and by minus 0.25. That is 800 kilojoule per mole inverse. Therefore, C is the answer. The presence of anhydrous AlCl3, it forms a intermediate, that is the P. Okay, so here the P, it is react with oxygen. First it is react with atmospheric oxygen O2, and second it undergoes hydrolysis. In the presence of temperature it forms Q and R. So in this following reaction, what is the PQR? That is the question. So PQR, so these are the options A, B, C, D. These are the options. Okay. So once you concentrate on this, especially NEET 2018 paper, in this, in organic chemistry, most of the questions they are given like these conversations only. So for example, two reactants react with each other, it forms A and A forms B, B forms C. Here what is A, what is B, what is C in different conditions. Okay, so that type of conversation they are asking, therefore especially focus on this type of questions. So here also P, Q, R, what is P, what is Q, what is R. So first here N-propyl chloride, N-propyl chloride in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3. Okay, so N-propyl chloride in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3, it is decomposes as Cl minus and carbon plus. Okay, in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3. So this AlCl3, it is ready to accept the chloride, and it is convert this chloride minus and is convert to AlCl3 plus 1 chloride, so AlCl4 minus, and it forms what? So primary carbonium ion, primary carbonium ion, that is a propyl carbonium ion. So first this N-propyl chloride in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3. So here AlCl3 acts as a Lewis acid, therefore it is absorbed the Cl and it is eliminated as a AlCl minus, and it forms a propyl carbonium ion. So this propyl carbonium ion is primary carbonium ion, primary carbonium ion, because of carbonium ion direct link with only one carbon, therefore it is a primary carbonium ion. So primary carbonium ions are least stable when compared with the secondary and tertiary carbonium ion. So therefore to get the stability of carbonium ion, here one hydrogen from the second carbon, it is shift towards the carbonium ion side. Therefore it is called H minus shift, hydride shift. That hydride shift takes from, so this carbon to this carbon. So why here hydride shift takes place, students? Because of here this is the primary carbonium ion. That primary carbonium ion is unstable when compared with secondary carbonium ion. Therefore this hydrogen shift to here. Now here this hydrogen shift to here, it becomes to CH3, and here hydride shift takes place. Therefore it becomes to positive and CH3. So here carbonium ion, it is connected to two carbons. Therefore it is the secondary carbonium ion. So primary carbonium ion, secondary carbonium ion. So here secondary carbonium ion is more stable than the primary carbonium ion. That's why primary carbonium ion is converted to secondary carbonium ion. Now this secondary carbonium ion or isopropyl carbonium ion, so it is act as a electrophile. So first this N-propyl chloride in the presence of AlCl3, first it forms a primary carbonium ion. That primary carbonium ion is converted to secondary carbonium ion. That secondary carbonium ion, it is act as a electrophile. That electrophile react with benzene, electrophilic substitution reaction. So therefore this isopropyl carbonium ion undergoes electrophilic substitution reaction with benzene. It forms the isopropyl benzene. Okay, isopropyl benzene. This isopropyl benzene is also called as a cumene. Okay, cumene. Therefore, here P is what? Isopropyl benzene. So option A. So this is propyl benzene. B propyl benzene. But option C and D isopropyl benzene. Therefore, maybe C or D is the answer. Next term. So the P is obtained by the reaction of benzene with N-propyl chloride in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3. It forms isopropyl benzene, and that isopropyl benzene first it is react with atmospheric oxygen. So if the cumene react with atmospheric oxygen, it is oxidation reaction. So therefore, these two oxygens are bonded to the carbon. So this carbon already contains two CH3 group, and these two oxygens, oxygen 1, oxygen 2, hydrogen. Okay, so peroxycumene. Okay, peroxycumene here. So this peroxycumene, second it is undergoes hydrolysis in the presence of heat. Hydrolysis. What happens here? This OH group, it is connected to benzene. This OH group is connected to benzene. It forms a phenol, and CH3 C double bond O, CH3 group is eliminated. Acetone is eliminated. Therefore, Q is phenol, R is acetone, P is cumene. Okay, so P is cumene, R is phenol, and Q is acetone. So this is the acetone. So Q is phenyl, R is acetone. So answer D is the answer.